So I finally saw the video yesterday of the police attack um, with a dog in Ohio. And I heard about it, but I hadn't seen the video until yesterday. And I watch on YouTube, I watch a couple of different channels. So one of the channels is Mother Trucker, and I watch other channels too. I had studied justice administration, law enforcement management in Kentucky, University of Louisville. 33 hours from graduating. So I'm not a police, but I've had teachers who were state troopers, Kentucky state troopers. I've had state troopers who were teachers, and also Louisville city police. I had I think he was a lieutenant. So I've had teachers who were police officers. And most law enforcement that I know, and it's been 20 years since I've been out of college, the ones that I knew, they've probably retired and way retired by now. They went above and beyond being cautious on everything they did. Mind you, the teachers that I had at least a bachelor. One of them was an attorney. Most of them had at least a master's degree. And the ones that I had as teachers, they did everything on the safe side. They went out of their way because they were not only law enforcement, they were also professors at universities. So the issue with what happened in Ohio, and I got hit a few years ago with a truck, semi-truck. From what I understand, inside of the semi-trucks, inside of those big semi-18-wheelers, they really can't hear anything on the inside. So I can understand somebody not hearing, because the semi-truck who backed up and hit me, I blew my horn off, and he still didn't hear me. And also, from what I understand, depending on where you're positioned, they don't see the back of their truck always. The vehicle has to be 10 feet away from them. But apparently what this happened with the case, from what I understand, is that the officers had followed him for a number of miles. He didn't pull over. He pulled over and then left, which he shouldn't have done. I fully understand. If you pull over, if police is following you, if you pull over, you need to pull over. From what I understand, he was on the phone with 911 telling them the police has their gun out on me and I don't know what's going on. And he wasn't trying to flee from the police. He wasn't trying to, in those big semis, you can't really flee anyhow. I don't know how fast they can go, but I can't imagine them going over 120 miles per hour. So there's no way he was going to be able to flee. He eventually pulled over, and he was on phone with 911 when he, to let him know, hey, I'm complying, I'm doing whatever. I'm just, he's African American, young black man. And I understand with today's environment, being black in the United States is you're endangered species, basically. And it's even more of a reason when you have other police officers. When he got out of the truck, if he wasn't complying, I fully understand. If he was being hostile, if he had a gun on him, at no point in the police report did they say he had any gun, was doing any other thing illegally. He just didn't see the officers that were behind him. And that's not a reason to set a dog, especially when you have other officers yelling at you, hey, don't let the dog loose. Don't let the dog loose. He's being compliant. So at this point, my personal opinion is we need to nip this kind of behavior once and for all in the bud. The police are being extra aggressive, especially in Ohio. I grew up in Kentucky. I know how the police are, especially with minorities. So, what would my solution be? Set the dog on the police officer. Let him feel how it is to be bet on, because the young man had to go to a hospital. I don't know if he had to stay in the hospital. Let the videotape it, and let him be humiliated one time. Videotape it, make sure everybody in the country sees it. Broadcast it on every national TV station. And I will promise you that BS will never happen again. You can't make people stop hating. You can't make people stop being racist. What you could do is for them to want to stop being embarrassed about their racism. You can't talk people out of racism. You can't teach it. There's no way. Embarrass the living heck out of them. That's the only way. And it's unfortunate that we've come to this in this country, but that's my only solution, because you shouldn't have to be in such fear as African Americans that you can't, you have to call 911. This was a case where he was trying to be compliant. And other officers, and it wasn't the case where anybody was feeling a danger. Other officers were telling that guy, hey, don't let the dog loose. Do not do this. So it wasn't like any other officers that were there, and there were several of them, were being felt at danger at any point. They were telling the other guy, don't do it. It's on videotape. This ain't he said, she said. It's on their own videotape. So at this point, we have to do what's going to embarrass the living heck out of them, because I will promise you, that officer and the family of that officer is never going to live that down. He's going to be on TV being attacked by his own dog for the same thing he did to another civilian when there was absolutely no reason for it. And say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this from now on. You all pull this, we're going to pull it back. We're going to do exactly to you what was done to, what you did to the civilian. And I will tell you, it will stop. That will be the first and last time this happens. Because nobody wants to be embarrassed on national TV. Nobody. Let me know what you think. Thank you.